Sue started scrolling through her phone and didn't say a word to Garry or her mother. She had achieved her immediate goal, as they both thought that Alex was her boyfriend, and it would be impossible for her mother to force her to date Garry. Rang the doorbell again. Sarah opened the door and saw 2 women and 1 man standing outside. It was her second daughter, Claire, son-in-law, Jack, and her granddaughter, Rose. Jack and Claire were the couple that had asked Alex to rent the villa to them. Mom, grandmother. Hey, why are the 3 of you together? Rose, where are your parents? Seeing the 3 of them, Sarah's mood improved slightly. Oh, Grandma. Rose held Sarah's arm affectionately. My dad has to work, and Mom has been looking after Grandpa in the hospital these past few days, so I'm the only one who could come over. I called Aunt Claire, and she said that she wanted to go to Preston University to pick me up, so we came over together. Sarah looked at Rose and mumbled, Your parents are really something. They even avoided coming to your grandfather's birthday. Oh, my Grandma, if you don't think I'm qualified to represent them, I'll call my parents right now and insist they come over, Rose said teasingly. You're clever. Okay. I've missed you so much, you little thing. Hurry up and light a candle for your grandfather. Sarah pinched Rose's cheek, then turned to Jack and Claire. Come on in. She looked at Jack with a kind gaze. She had always been very satisfied with this son-in-law. Seeing that Sue had arrived earlier, Rose was pleasantly surprised. Together with her aunt, she lit a candle for her grandfather before sitting down beside Sue. Jack and Claire also sat down on the sofa. Mom, is this... When Claire saw Garry, she could guess that this was the man her mother had recommended to Sue. Garry took the initiative to greet Jack, Claire, and Rose. Jack and Claire had a good impression of him and exchanged business cards. So, Garry, you're the founder of the film company. That's kind of like what Sue does. She's a sports reporter. Claire knew that since her mother had invited Garry to her house, she must have revealed her intentions of introducing him to her sister. If Sue can give me the opportunity, I would naturally want to discuss some films and sports stories with her. I'm just afraid that she won't give me this opportunity, Garry smiled. Seeing that Jack and Claire's impression of him was not bad, he wanted to gain their favor to speak on his behalf in front of Sue. As soon as Garry finished his sentence, Sue glared at him. Her displeasure toward him grew even stronger. Oh? What do you mean? Jack and Claire were both curious. They looked at their mother, who seemed to know something. Sue found a man, Sarah said with a sigh. You found the right man. Jack, Claire, and Rose were shocked. Claire quickly asked, Who? Sarah sighed heavily as her brows furrowed. She looked at Sue and said, She found a liar. He came to our house wearing fancy clothes and a watch. He claimed that his family owned an internet company, so they were high income. Luckily, Garry exposed him. Otherwise, I would have believed it. Huh? Claire and the rest looked very surprised. Did you chase him away? I had to send him to... If I kicked him out, he would have fought me like Sue, Sarah said sarcastically. Sue sat there motionlessly, but she felt furious from embarrassment. Sue, why did you argue with Mom? She did it for your own good, you know. Claire reprimanded her, but she didn't say anything else in case it would start another clash. A soft scrubbing noise came from the bathroom, which was far from the sofa. She couldn't hear the noise clearly, so Claire asked curiously, Mom, who's in the bathroom? Who else could it be other than that swindler? Her mother cried. He's still here? Claire asked as she walked toward the bathroom. Jack, don't worry about him. Sarah held her back. She looked at Jack and Claire and said, I told him to clean the toilet. It stinks. Let him stay in there alone. This is too shameless. Where does he think he is? His place with his family? A swindler who thinks he can stay in our house? Claire was dragged back to her seat by her mother. She purposely said it loudly so he could hear her from the bathroom, but Alex had his earphones on and was listening to music while scrubbing the toilet bowl. He couldn't hear the conversation in the living room. Sue, he clearly tricked you. Do you still intend to keep dating him? Claire looked at her sister. She liked to speak condescendingly to Sue in this way. Listen to me. Split up with this guy before he gets you into trouble. We're so busy, we don't have time to fix your mess for you. Since when have I troubled you, sister? Sue couldn't help but retort angrily. What sort of attitude is that? I'm doing this for your own good, okay? Claire was furious when she heard Sue speak to her in that manner. Sue had always been obedient to her, so how could she dare to speak to her like that? Forget it, Sarah said. She lowered her voice and added, She's enchanted by that man. It's useless for anyone to try and say anything now. Claire still mumbled to herself as she glanced at Garry again. Sue, you don't know a good thing when you see it. You're actually willing to follow a swindler. What are you doing? Then she spoke to Garry. Garry, it's fine. My sister's a bit stupid sometimes. They won't be together for long. Thank you, Garry nodded his head, feeling even more pleased with himself. It looked like Sue's family was on his side. Although Sue felt uncomfortable, she didn't say anything. Her sister treated her like this since she was so young, so she was already used to it. Rose gently squeezed Sue's hand and looked at her with some sympathy. She knew that her aunt had never liked it when her grandmother tried to introduce her to someone. When she heard that her aunt had found a boyfriend, Rose was quite happy for her. But she didn't expect that it would be a swindler. Sue could smile wryly at Rose. Claire, we'll go to your house later. Let us see what this expensive villa looks like, Sarah said with a smile, changing the subject. It had already been more than 2 months since they said they had bought the house, and no one in the family had gone to visit yet. Sarah wanted to take advantage of that day's get-together so they could all visit Jack and Claire's villa together. Do you want to go to the Washington Heights to take a look? Rose asked. Preston University was very close to the area, so every time she saw a villa there, she felt especially envious. She would finally be able to go inside and take a look that day. Someday she would be able to show it off in front of her friends too. Okay, we'll go later, Claire said as she smiled. She felt confident, as Mr. Ambrose had already given them a key to the villa. You guys bought a villa at the Washington Heights? Garry asked in surprise. Seeing Jack and Claire indifferently nod their heads, the respect reflected in Garry's eyes grew even stronger. Impressive. The Washington Heights is currently one of the top residential areas in New York. The villa in the center there is sold for a sky-high price of almost $40 million, and no one in the city has surpassed that record. It's said that all the famous people in New York live there. Being able to buy a villa not only shows how wealthy you are, but how much power you have. I've been wanting to buy a place in the Washington Heights since last year, but even now I still could not do it. Jack and Claire were flattered by Garry's description. So you also wanted to buy a house in the Washington Heights? To be honest, the place there is not that easy to buy. It's not only limited by money, but you also need the right connections. Jack acted as if he understood the process very well, completely forgetting that he didn't really have a villa. How about this? Let me see if I can help you get in touch with someone who can help you buy a place there. But whether or not you really can buy one, I'm not sure either. That's great. Thank you, thank you. Garry shook Jack's hand vigorously. Sue, look at your sister. She already has a villa in the Washington Heights. Tell me, where are you living? Think about it carefully. See if your mother is right or not. Sarah once again shifted the topic to Sue. Sue pursed her lips as she was unable to say anything. Are you still living at Lawrence Heights? Claire glanced at her sister. You're already 26. You are still renting. That's quite a shame. Do you have any plans to buy a house? No, Sue lowered her head. She didn't look at Claire or her mother. She only makes $2,000 a month. After paying for rent and food, she only has $300 left over. How could she afford to buy a house with just that little bit of money? I won't be surprised if you start asking me for handouts, Sarah snorted. Since when have I asked you for money? Sue's nose crinkled and her eyes turned slightly wet. She forcefully held back her tears. Fine. Since you didn't want my money, then you must have made all your own money. All the money you got for school must have fallen out of a money tree. Your mother never bought you any clothes. You must have all bought them on your own," Sarah complained. Sue was again rendered speechless by her words. Sue's cell phone rang. She picked it up without thinking and said to the person on the other end of the line, "Check it yourself. I've already made up what you owe me from the company. Don't call me again for it, okay?" With that, she hung up. Previously, when Sue had left her media company, she had discovered that they owed her a year or so of back pay, so she had called them to ask them to make up for it. "Sue, what's going on? Did something happen to your company? Tell me," Sarah asked as everyone in the room had heard Sue's phone call.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.